I have been in a struggle all day long to get this camera and this brain to focus. I tried recording this a couple hours ago, but the people who live directly above me apparently were having their entire apartment replaced. I am a big advocate of journaling. I journal like an absolute maniac almost every day. Pen and paper. Actually writing things out by hand is really helpful because it kind of slows your brain down, and also because engaging with technology is a whole different set of distraction in itself. There's something about taking yourself away from technology and really writing your words down manually on paper that really does something that just helps my brain work better, and I get a lot of good revelations this way. I have been making lists of goals and trying to determine like what my real goals and what my real priorities are, not just for a job, but just for my life in general, because I've been really out of balance with like, sometimes I'm trying to focus on personal stuff. Sometimes I'm trying to focus on legal stuff. Sometimes I'm trying to focus on work stuff. Sometimes I'm only focusing on my kids. And it's like I focus on one thing to the absolute detriment of everything else. Trying to have a little more balance in my life. Today, I'm journaling. I'm having some not great thoughts and some feelings I need to process about my failed tech career. I went to school to be a web developer, but then I never got myself a job as a web developer. It's part of a bit of a pattern I've had in my life. It's not the first time something like that has happened. I went to school for graphic design. I got a degree. I was really great in school. Then I interviewed and I did some freelance work. Actually, at least with graphic design, I did it a little bit. But I never really made a career out of it. I ended up kind of giving up on it. I was making a list of all the things I was good at and things I was not good at in all the different educational things, all the different like jobs I've tried, skills I clearly have versus skills that I really didn't have. I had a moment of getting like very upset and very emotional and starting to kind of feel a little bit sorry for myself. I climbed the mountain everyone told me to climb, only to find that there was no pile of gold at the top after all. It actually just brought me to the base of another mountain. I thought I'd be good enough to get a job with what I had. And when I found out that I needed more, I quit. I didn't want to be the best of the best. I just wanted to be myself and be good enough. Not even for a 6-figure job. I would have taken a lot less. I would have been happy being a manual tester. I would have been happy answering the phones. I just wanted to be in. And I wanted to use the education that I paid for. But at this point, we've all got that inner critic. My inner critic really came out and just wrote in all caps for like 8 pages how angry and disappointed she was with me. It was just like the worst, meanest voice in my head that was like, you lazy slob, you're lying. You never even really tried. Look at this person. She had a music degree and she still got a tech job and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write it all out. I'm just going to let these thoughts go. I'm not going to try to stop this. Though I'm not really one for recommending New Age or New Thought literature to anyone anymore. For my money, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is still a good read. And I think the most important part of that book is in about the first 20 pages. He's talking about a time in his life when he was a graduate student and he was having like very severe problems with anxiety and depression and was going in and out of like suicidal ideation. He had a moment where he suddenly said to himself, oh my God, I can't stand myself anymore. And who hasn't had that thought? I can't stand myself anymore. And then he thought about it for a minute. Isn't there just one of me here? Who is this other person? Who is the self that I am sick of? The first time I read that, I thought it was just like real wooey and kind of new age and a little bit too abstract, and I didn't understand it. Boy, I really started understanding it recently. I am the thinker of the thoughts. I'm not saying that we don't have egos and that we don't need to keep our egos in check, but I do think a lot of kind of new age self-help culture and a lot of those belief systems have really taught us that our ego is actually like a different person in our brain, and we need to like fight that person all the time. And I'm not here trying to lay some kind of self-help trip on you like, your ego is wrong. That voice in your head is wrong and you need to just ignore it. And it's bad and it's not really you. That negative voice in your head might be wrong, but it is not someone else. It's you. The voice in my head is me. I am the thinker of the thoughts. There aren't two separate things and I have to fight with one of them and get rid of it. I let the mean voice in my head say its piece. And when my inner mean girl got to the very end of the rant, she said this: you put in the amount of work you felt like putting in, and the world doesn't give a what you feel like. The world wants someone who can do the thing. This is not your elementary school. You are not going to get a prize for your efforts. The world doesn't care about your efforts, and it doesn't care what you think you deserve. The world wants someone who has the skills to do the job. And I'm not a raging narcissist over here. Like, I do understand these things. I understand that if I don't get something I want, the world is not to blame because they were unfair to me somehow. Like, this sounds so stupid when I say it out loud. It sounds so obvious, but stop and think about it for a minute. The slightly mean voice in my head said, Catherine, why are you still looking for jobs in the tech sector? Because I still am. I'm looking for sales jobs, customer service jobs, HR jobs. Like, I want to be in tech, but not as an engineer, not as a developer, because I'm not qualified for those jobs. So I'm looking at all these companies because I'm so convinced that this is the right industry for me. 95% of the jobs are things I can't do. And then it hit me like some grand epiphany. A light streamed in from above, and I said to myself, Catherine, you are not seeking a job from the tech industry. What you are seeking is validation. That is what I have been throwing myself into recently. I don't need a job. I have a damn job. I've been so completely lost at sea and so confused about what exactly even really happened with me in my technology career. I just want somebody out in the world to see me and just say, you know what? I'm sorry that didn't work out for you. I'm sorry that you weren't really good at something that you wanted to be good at. I'm sorry that you just didn't understand the right thing to do. I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you because I can see that you tried really hard. I want someone else to look at me and see the value I see in myself, so that I don't have to feel like maybe I'm a crazy narcissist anymore. If you have been seeking something for a long time and it's not working out, there's a real good chance what you think you're seeking is not even what you're really looking for. By the way, this disembodied ventriloquist dummy head has been sitting on my bathroom counter for like over a week now. You now know as much about this thing as I do. I found these red, white, and blue sparkly stars that are in my house for some reason. I think they came from Dollar Tree for people who love America and just really want to celebrate their country so much. I'll be throwing these away. Another small disaster that happened today, while I was brushing my teeth, my toothbrush fell in the cat litter. I don't know why I just brought it over here to show you, like, you don't know what a toothbrush is. So that's about it for me today. Thank you so much for watching whatever the hell this just was.